the room on the other side. Don't push in there though. Don't do
I'm
it.
about to around and find out.
All right. They're in a room. Now go upstairs. Now you want to find out? Go upstairs.
They're in the bunk beds.
Turn. No, go up. Turn around. They're in that room right there. Both of them in corners.
You got them both. He said I'm gonna.
Good shit, Ricky.
I was so fucking scared.
YouTube, what's going on, man? Hey, listen, the video that I got for you guys today is a little out of the norm in the content that I do, but I feel like it's useful, and I feel like it can help a lot of people out there who play COD and don't feel like they're actually good at COD or want to get better at COD, or maybe even just have a low KD and want to kind of raise that. So if you have under a 1 KD, then for sure I can help you out. But if you have above that, this video probably ain't for you, and you can just, just go ahead and skip it. But don't forget to drop a like or a subscription on your boy, because I would greatly appreciate that. I got a few tips and tricks that I use that have substantially helped me be a better player and have raised my KD by miles. So without no further ado, here's my tips and tricks. All right, so look, when we talking about COD, there is some fundamentals to COD, and one of the first tip and first trick that I have for you is like the holy grail of first-person shooters: centering, centering, centering. If you don't have your gun centered at damn near all time, you're probably going to lose a gunfight 10 times out of 10, because the time that it takes for you to raise your gun from down here, up here, or something like that to get to your opponent and get them centered in your crosshairs is probably the time that they're putting bullets into you and you lose that gunfight. Centering is basically the difference between having your gun right here and having your gun up here. And usually, typically, this is what people do wrong when they're running or looting. And sidebar note, overlooting is not a good thing. I don't care what anybody says. Overlooting pretty much counteracts your centering. If you're looking down at a box or a crate or anything like that, or looking at loot, that literally takes you out of a gunfight. Basically, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're not overlooting. And I know that you guys want to help your teammates out, and you feel like, well, if I wouldn't have overlooted, I wouldn't have had that flare to get my teammate back. Your teammate would much rather have you put in bullets into people for them and being there by their side than flaring them back and they can't even get their loot because now it's gone. Once you have everything that you need to fight, go fight. That's what we're here for. This is the right way to have your centering, and this is me using centering. This is me using centering to my advantage to be able to win that gunfight. And 9 times out of 10, if you're centered before the next person is centered, you're gonna win that gunfight. All right. Number two. Listen, whether you're playing big map or you're playing Resurgence or anything like that, the game is not played A to B. Okay, the difference between a bot player and a player who actually knows what they're doing out there is they're not just running out in the open, and they're not just not maintaining some form of coverage. You want to make sure that you play the game heady to heady. The maps are designed to have some form of coverage for you guys. Whether you're out in the open and you see a rock, that rock is not just there for aesthetic. That rock is there for you to be able to use to be able to fight and to be able to hold a heady. So what a heady is basically anything that you use for coverage and their opponent can only see your head. And here's what people do wrong when they have a heady clearly in front of them and to be able to use. And then here's the right way to actually use a heady when you're getting ready to get into a gunfight. And then here's me actually using a heady in a gunfight for my advantage. As you can see, the opponent can only see nothing but my head, which usually renders them not being able to get many shots in. And also, if the person doesn't have precision aim, they're probably not going to hit me, and they're probably not going to get enough shots into me to kill me. Because your head is exposed, I will say that there is a chance for somebody to get a headshot in the mix, but the chances of them getting a headshot in the mix as opposed to you being fully exposed are very slim. So I would take the slimmer bet than anything when you're in a gunfight. Use every advantage that you can on the field. Here's my third tip: Hipfire, Hipfire, Hipfire. You're having close range gunfights, which the majority of the gunfights that you have in COD are, they're close range gunfights. The person that hip fires first is usually the person that wins that gunfight. The name of the game is put more bullets in faster and put more bullets into the opponent than they can put into you. So if we meet and you see me, I see you, and we're getting ready to shoot, and I immediately start shooting and you immediately start ADSing, I win that gunfight. And not to mention, a lot of people always talk about getting their camera broke or breaking people's cameras. It's a lot harder to break someone's camera when they immediately go to Hipfire as opposed to ADS. You ADS and I whip around a corner, I'm gonna break your camera every time. But if you're ready for Hipfire action, you can usually adjust yourself pretty fast and get out of that. And that's the difference between a Warzone pro and an average player seeing someone slide cancel past them. That's how you make sure that you use aim assist to your advantage and make sure that you can lock on a player too as well. Keith has talked about this and he did a very, very good video on it. And here's me using the Hipfire to my advantage in a gunfight, and he actually winning a gunfight too with it as well. I'm not saying that this stuff will always 100% guarantee you win your gunfights, but I can tell you right now, a lot of this stuff is what separates a lot of good players from bad players. Bad players don't know any of this stuff. They go out there and they have this mindset to play the game in a total different way, and that is not how the game is played. And this is why some players are miles ahead of some players. And this also is what changed my gameplay and what made me a better player. When I started knowing these things and I started implementing these things into my gameplay, is literally how I got better at the game. I never would have thought that I could raise my KD out of the dirt and I could have some 20 kill games on my belt, but this all happened only because I followed some of these fundamentals that I'm giving you guys, and I also, you know, just try to stay disciplined out there as much as possible. So last thing that I got for you guys is knowing when to pull out of a gunfight. Some people get very, very overzealous with their shooting and you lose the gunfight. You have an opportunity to plate up, rechow, and get yourself together before you have to go engaging into a fight. I can't tell you how many times I watch some of my teammates there, you know, in a long range gunfight, and they're shooting, and I'm watching their plates get depleted, and they have the space and the time to just duck down, replate up, try it again and see if you can get this person. But instead, they're just holding down the trigger and just praying to God that, you know, they don't run out of plates soon enough. Always check your plates in the middle of a gunfight. It takes little next to nothing just to look to the left real quick, the lower corner, and check your platers while you're in a gunfight. Look at that. Make sure that you know if you should continue this gunfight or you should just back off this gunfight. That also means engaging in gunfights too. You usually typically can hear, well, I don't know if I should use the term here because COD still hasn't fixed their audio issue. You usually can hear multiple sets of feet. So if you hear more than one and you're not comfortable with fighting more than one person at a time, get out of there. That's all you got to do. Get out of there. Do your best to get out of there and pick your gunfights well. So that's my tips, and that's how I got better at COD, and I hope it helps. And, you know, let me know in the comments what your KD is and any kind of tips and tricks that you can put in there too as well to help people. You may know some stuff that I don't know. So, all right, take care. Till next time.